I just drove a Honda Beat. Every other car is ruined for me. Ruined! Patrick George was right.
'Cause it's a Honda Beat. Cannot keep this ride.
This is a two-seat Japanese domestic market K-car sports car, and it will change your life. It turns as if it's a slot car toy. It's weightless, and the laws of physics don't apply to it. It weighs 1,676 pounds. It makes 63 horsepower at 8,100 RPM from Honda's E07A engine. It is a 656 Transverse 3, which features Honda's M-Trek system, which is a load of spicy letter garbage, meaning multi-throttle response engine control. Individual throttle bodies, that's all it means, individual throttle bodies. Which are completely unnecessary. Why do you need individual throttle bodies? Because midship amusement. Why do you need a limited slip differential if you're only making 44 foot-pounds of torque? Because it's Honda in 1991, and every manga has meter-long dicks in it by order of the JDF. This Honda Beat is owned by friend of the show, Tony Airlines. You can check him out on Instagram. And this is the most unique Beat in North America right now. The modifications made by the previous owner in Japan are extensive. Most of the suspension was removed and replaced with coilovers and tubular control arms. The body is tied together with bracing in the back, in the front, in the top, and the bottom. Very little body flex remains. It has a completely new exhaust, including headers, which were then heat-wrapped. The wheels are 1 inch larger and wider than stock. These are now 14-inch wheels in the front and 15-inch wheels in the back. And the wheels are further spaced out by 2 or 3 millimeters, I think to keep the front wheels from rubbing at full lock. Bride seats! You kidding me? Bride is to Recaro what Rolex is to Timex. These are for track use. What are they doing in a street car? Also, it's clear that these bride seats are not export models. They're not for American asses. I'm in shape and I barely fit into this. They are about as wide as a Burger King plastic booster chair. But once you're in, you feel intimacy as described in supermarket romance novels. The E07A was completely rebuilt at 30,000 kilometers, and Tony asked the importer, why? And the importer said, well, you see, my name is Travis, and I own a laundromat and a mail-order bride. So Tony and a member of a Honda Beat Facebook group got to poking around, and while they were changing the timing belt for peace of mind, they saw that the plastic timing covers looked like they took a spin in a microwave. Yep, this engine got really hot at one point. The headlights are period-correct HIDs with ballasts. They're freak power bright with a slight green tint. Tony drives with them on all the time because in a car this low, you disappear underneath belt lines. When you see a Honda Beat in photos, it doesn't look that small because every part of the car is also small. Most of these parts are not Honda parts bin, parts from Civics or something like that. No, they are scaled down to make the Beat look proportionally correct. The door handle is only 2 fingers wide. The side mirrors are the size of napkins. The HVAC knobs are not much larger than thimbles, and the gear shifter is about as large as a mini liquor bottle. Oh, and how does it shift? Exactly like every other Honda you've ever driven. Unreal. Slam it. Well, okay, it's hard to slam it into gear when you can only get 3 fingers around this little whittle knob. But poke it in at any engine speed, and in it goes. You have 5 gears, and you will be redlining for each gear change. Remember when you made race car sounds during first grade gym class to make you run faster? This exhaust, which has the volumetric capacity of 2 shoeboxes, makes a meaty, growly, I'm dangerous, I am sound. And you're gonna rah with every gear, and you think you're going 90 and you're going 40.
So fun.
A Honda Beat will cruise on the Pennsylvania Turnpike at 70 miles an hour, but the revs will sit at 5,500 RPM. The E07A engine can handle prolonged revs, but checking your oil will be a monthly habit if you're going to be driving like that. Tony says he needs to carry a laminated card because all the questions he gets are the same. Here are all the answers. Yes, it's legal. No, the steering wheel is on the correct side. I use Easy Pass. I go into Starbucks. No, it's a Honda. It says so right here. No, I'm not scared. $8,000. 1991 Honda Beat. It's a 1991 Honda Civic that got hit with a Mario Kart lightning bolt. This car is cognitive psychology on four wheels. This is the idea that our visible behavior is less important than the thought processes that drive it. What brings us to a Honda Beat? Why do we act in fear of death? What if life is the afterlife, and whatever came before our birth is what we're so scared of losing?
I mean, come on, Joe Rogan. I'm not saying fish can rap. I'm just saying look into it.
This was the final car approved of by Soichiro Honda before his death. And it was part of the K-car sports car movement of the early 90s, alongside competitors like the Suzuki Cappuccino and AutoZam AZ1. But even though it was approved by a man in his mid-80s, it was developed by engineers with an average age below 30. Because the old adage goes that a society grows great when old men plant trees under whose shade they know they shall never sit. Honda saw the way the winds were blowing in the JDM market, and so he trusted people younger than himself to see those trends through, to figure out if they were one-off fluke, or if the sporty K-car movement was sustainable. The Honda E07A engine was based on the two-cylinder single overhead cam Honda EH engine, but geared more toward use in light vehicles. Now, there were three options for fuel supply on this specific designation. You could either have Venturi-type side draft carburation that was electronically controlled, you could have multi-port fuel injection, or you could have the M-Trek, which offered the highest power output of the three. Now, so far in the United States, we've only seen Honda Beats with M-Trek. I can't say with 100% certainty that M-Trek was only exclusive to the Beat. The E07A is also an engine that turns counterclockwise from the timing belt, like the Honda D engine used in the first-gen Integra and other Civics. The E07A features a cross-flow design and a block and bore made of die-cast aluminum. This engine uses a single camshaft driving 4 valves per cylinder and a powertrain from the Honda Today, which is installed at the rear axle. It has a 0 to 60 time of about 13 seconds. So while it was slower than the Cappuccino, partly because this one doesn't utilize a turbocharger, it can still hit a theoretical top speed of 90 miles an hour. Now, the ECU will cut fuel at 84 miles an hour. If you find a way to take off that limiter, this car becomes Redline, the car. The Honda Beat feels like a response to the Cappuccino and the AutoZam AZ1, a way of getting power without turbochargers, using individual throttle bodies to make up the difference and proving that it could be done. But you still get people hating on the Beat, because it's like the straight-edge friend in a bunch of drinkers. Everybody thinks it's just doing it for show, that you don't really enjoy your lifestyle, it's just performance art. What, a car can't be fun just because it fits in the overhead compartment of a Southwest Airlines flight? That's probably just some nonsense written by the type of guy who makes a spectacle out of taking his pill at dinner. Jeremy, just swallow it. Stop acting like that Xantec is some burglar trying to breach Fort Knox at the base of your goddamn throat. I think the default for a car like this is to question why it exists and why anybody would want to drive it.
Because here I come! I'm driving a Beat! Everybody's looking at me! I'm the special part of their day now, and I know it! Here I come, I'm really small. I like having the same conversation every day, and I make sure I try to give them a good show and try to make like they were the first person to ask all these things. This is my personality now.
This loops around to cognitive psychology and its roommate behaviorism. Where the former is concerned with the thought processes, the latter is all about observable behavior. and the presumption that the only way to really understand behavior is through consequences. Our behavior is driven by whatever we believe will be the result in the most favorable consequences. But sometimes our behaviors are tangled like tree roots and toilet pipes. Like wanting to ride a motorcycle when you get hit with that perfect 89-degree sun. We blow off or rush through whatever it is we have to do because this sunshine isn't going to be here all day, and we want that ride. You don't have to understand why someone would want a Honda Beat. Just know that for them, no explanation is necessary. So find one, drive one, but you will never be the same. Ever seen that one porn channel called Cum Control? Imagine getting a baby oil handy like that, and then going home to your designed by compromise Chrysler meat claws. You will never again know the joy of apexing a parking island. A Honda Beat is fun at every moment. Driving through a construction cattle chute feels like exiting that base in the first level of the original Star Fox. And I mean this last bit sincerely. The Honda Beat is as close as any car has gotten to feeling like an Airal Atom. Joygasm!
Don't fit, I can fit, let me fit, 'cause I'm here in my beat, and I'm here in my beat, because for Soichiro Honda, the last car he approved was the Beat back in 1991.